Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen with Super Secret Project X, now with sound.
Part two.
Part 2, the
Electric.
what the heckening.
The dualism.
I know. So, just as a note for everyone in the future working at Streamlabs OBS, when you update your software, you really shouldn't reset people's stuff. Because why would you? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Oh, we're going to upgrade all of their security and make sure all their algorithms are running all smooth. Oh, by the way, let's reset their sound settings too, because that would be funny. Bet they'd get a laugh. No, sorry guys. It's not funny. Okay, today, because we've been watching DuckTales, the new DuckTales, not the old one. And I gotta say, a lot of great characters on the show. I love Magica Dispel. She hasn't been on there a ton. What are you looking for?
I'm gonna reset it.
Okay, you go right ahead.
Yeah. It is here. As I knock over my display.
And so we're gonna do her. I thought she was a great villain. I thought in the original series she was all right. Wasn't exactly one of the best villains. She was kind of fun, kind of a fun design, but she wasn't like one of my favorites. In the new one, they really Disney vilified her, which, you know, is really the direction to go.
Yeah, I don't really remember much of her because, like I said, I didn't watch DuckTales as much as I was a Rescue Rangers kid. So for me, yeah, I watched some of DuckTales. I remember some of it, but I didn't really watch it all that much. Yeah, and I remember that she appeared in a couple of the episodes, or a few of the episodes. Mainly remember her from the comics, of course, and of course a lot of the Carl Barks and what was the other guy's name? There was another original artist which I've been learning about those two. They got really screwed over by Disney with a lot of the comic and duck lore and stuff that had been happening. So, yeah, which I will talk about once I concentrate on this one thing first, and then get back to there. No, I don't want to play Cuphead.
Don't you want to play Cuphead? No, I'm trying to do the thing. It's making you play Cuphead. That is all the way to the right, sweetie. All the way to the right.
Yeah, I'm trying to shut down all the other programs.
That doesn't matter. You just turn Twitch on.
Well, I'm trying to restart Twitch because it's stuck
Okay,
right now.
then good. Then just go to it and turn it on.
Yeah, which I'm
There you
trying
go.
to do.
All right. So the improvements I liked on Magica Dispel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the original design was pretty good, but she wasn't threatening. Like, she was threatening in a Saturday morning cartoon, kind of soft cartoon kind of way.
Yeah.
But she wasn't really... I mean, there was some villains on DuckTales that was far more frightening than her.
She was more ha, twirl the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the new one, she's, you know... I'm not going to say she's like, oh, she's completely new, blah, blah, blah. She's this deep character. No, but they made her more... Well, one, she's sexier, which is weird. But it's also... Okay, good, you added that in there. So she's kind of older, kind of sexier, kind of more like Morgan Le Fay, which is kind of, I guess, what she was supposed to sort of be originally.
Right.
And now she's just more frightening. And when she's funnier, she's now much funnier because she goes from being kind of legitimately scary to, kind of pathetic.
Yeah, and they made her look like the 2017. They made her look more menacing. I love the way they did her eyes, the triangle eyes.
It's weird looking.
Yeah, I've never seen that outside of like sci-fi alien stuff, and so they really made her just look way just creepier and
Yeah.
oh man, the part that I really love was when she was inhabiting Lena's body, and when she first made her appearance, and like the poor girl like literally vomits and bleeds out of her eyes the evil essence
I
of
know.
Magica. Like, for kids.
Yeah, I know. I was just going like, nice. I can actually feel the weight of how dangerous this character is, as compared to before, where she was. You're right. Muhaha is the best way of describing her, and I way prefer this version of Magica. As a matter of fact, almost everything in this, and I'm original generation's DuckTale kid.
Yeah.
I'm the generation and age it was designed for. And the new version, and I will say, with a couple little exceptions of like certain things in the original series, like the original miniseries was awesome. But beyond that, this new version, superior. So superior. Like, there's little things that I miss. Like, I kind of wish both Webbigales were in it. Because the new Webbigale, way better than the old Webby.
She kind of is in a sense.
Well, in a way, but I kind of actually wanted like the old super girly Webby in there as a contrast to the new Webby, which is freaking amazing. Yeah, I don't know why guys have a problem with like this, like sort of, I guess, girl empowerment, I guess is what it's called, but I just call it girl characters that are developed better and much more interesting. I mean, this new Webbigale is so much better. She is so funny.
Okay, Beck had a snack attack.
And I like the fact that none of the boys will fight her. That is so hilarious, because she'd kick their butts. That's right. It's just so funny.
I love what they did with Mrs. Beakley by making her a
Mrs. Beakley now is awesome.
And the fact that she trained Webby, and like this 10, 11-year-old kid who can keep up with all of the evil foes and the adults who are out there trying to kick
at least
butts.
close enough.
Yeah.
She stands a chance. That's
Yeah.
what's great about her. But was it Agent 23? Agent 22, that was it. Agent 22, and then Scrooge in the 60s was like Steed from the Avengers. So both of them are kind of making this semi-Avengers, semi-British spy show kind of thing going on. And it's just such a smarter written show, and the characters are just so much more fun now. And they were pretty good before, but like for example, it was funny, it hit me the other day. One of my original criticisms of DuckTales when I was a kid, where's Donald Duck? Now, he's not in it all the time, but he's in it enough where I'm like, perfect. Well, this is when I was a kid. That's what I was asking for. Where was Donald Duck? Because I don't even recall him. I think he showed up like once, if I even recall that right. But overall, you were kind of like, wait a minute. These, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, these poor kids are really closer to orphans than anything else. They're just, you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're
like completely familyless.
Yeah.
Because their family keeps kind of going like, off to the next one. Off to the... And in this version, it's like, no, the uncles are there. The family's showing up and stuff. They just don't know where to put the kids. And...
And the fact that what I love is the familiar aspect of it is the family genuinely love each other. I mean, Donald,
yeah,
they
will actually made him a character.
Yeah, he will murder somebody to protect his kids, who are like his nephews.
Which is like, wow.
Yeah, and it's like, well, before, Donald's nephews were just his nephews, and they were just there, and they were basically the foils to him, and the old school Disney cartoons and stuff like that. But it's like, now they made him so that he literally is not only their guardian, but he is their parent, and it's absolutely sweet, and I love that because I love family stuff like that, and with continuity. And I love it when they show families who are actually like family. It's not the oh, my annoying big sister, ha ha ha. Oh,
My parents are so stupid. They don't
Yeah.
get anything.
Yeah, my
So
little brother
stupid.
is such a brat kind of thing, and it's like
My
they-
older sister's so girly. She's uncool. I
Yeah.
hate that
Yeah.
stuff.
or let's torture the older sister because she's being a foil to the little
The
boys.
farting boy. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, some of that stuff,
It can be funny every
Yeah.
once in a while.
yeah, but it's like when, like actually seeing families defending, taking care of each other, being there for each other, is I love that, and that's I mean with DuckTales I'm like, oh, that was like thank you for having that. I mean the worst we see is of course with bringing it back to Magica and Lena and
Yeah.
stuff, and even though they technically weren't related in a sense, but they were because she was a part of her. But yeah, I mean that's yeah. Um, that was they did a good job of showing a dysfunctional kind of controlling without going too far and too deep into it, but yet showing the dangerous and the harmful aspects of that. But of course keeping the magic of it being a animated being a DuckTale cartoon. Yeah, I mean like Magica, they didn't do the they didn't go so far as to make like the whole damaging gaslighting thing, but it definitely was there. Which again I applaud them for being brave enough to put that kind of content into a all ages cartoon. So kudos to the writers for that.
Well, there's just a bunch of stuff in the new DuckTales where, without it being adult, they didn't treat kids like they were stupid. That's what I like about it. So as an adult, I can watch it and go, oh no, I could see the creative thought in here and not just a bunch of suits going like, well, you know, those kids probably won't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and instead they went in and went, you know what? I think kids will, if they don't get this, their parents will, and it's not going to hurt them. Put it in. You know, and I just thought that was so much, so appreciated, so much better, you know, than...
Yeah, I mean, I follow a couple of the writers and some of the artists and stuff on Twitter, and they talk about a lot of the content that they've gone through because of course the show is now officially ended, but all of the episodes haven't premiered yet. It's still running on I think Disney XD, and we're waiting for the third season of course to drop on Disney Plus, which they'll do after it finishes on XD there. But they talk about a lot of the content that they put in there and what they were able to do, and the few things that they had to pull back on because yeah, even the suits were just like, well, no, and they fought for a lot of the stuff that was on there. And yeah, they actually did say on a lot of times, they're like kids can handle this stuff. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
kids love seeing this kind of a lot of kids, they don't like being frightened or scared, but they do like thrills, and that's what we're here to give. That we're here to have a good time and give kids of all ages a good thrill and entertain them and tell a story. No, we're not going to make kids terrified so they won't watch our show. No, that's dumb. But we want to let them know that hey, you can have a good time with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird, creepy stuff.
That's what Walt originally did. Is he came out and he said it's like no, I will probably scare them. You know, there's going to be frightening content in some of my movies, but I want everybody to know that in a Walt Disney movie, that it's going to be okay by the end.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene at the end of Snow White is horrifying. I mean, with all the storm and the lightning and it was pretty frightening. When I was a little kid, I was like, whoa, And so I mean, that was there from like the beginning of Walt Disney, and so that's what I got so frustrated with in the '90s and so as I got older as a teenager, it was the cartoons just kept not evolving. That's why I went over to the Japanese stuff, because I was going like, At least they'll treat me like I'm not an idiot most of the time. And the difference was in American animation, there was one or two shows that didn't do that. Everything else was just like, oh, now you gotta be careful because those kids, and it was just, it treated you like you were an idiot. And
and it was also, of course, where this is just a long toy commercial. By the way, here's a little bit of a semblance of a story, just to keep
Yep.
keep the kids hooked, and so the kids can act out the stories when they buy the toys.
Yes. Which I'm not going to take that away from people. I'm not saying all shows shouldn't be that. I'm just saying I was getting tired of so many shows treating me like I was still like 4 years old.
Oh, I get you.
And I liked animation. I didn't care how old I was. I liked animation. And I just wish that this version of DuckTales, and the thing is I still have good memories of DuckTales. I still say there were moments. The original miniseries was amazing. After that, it was a fun eat your ice cream after you come home from school kind of show. There was nothing wrong with it,
Right.
but it wasn't this good. It
Yeah.
just wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean, and that was when Disney was still doing a lot of the we're catering to kids, we're catering to the memories of the adults who are watching this with their kids, and also it has to be safe and fun and all the stuff, and it has to have the Disney heart, which sure that's
Yeah, no,
that's
there's
good
nothing
and
wrong
all.
with that. But don't treat me like I'm a toddler.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do all that stuff without talking down to your audience.
It just had a memory when you're talking about with Snow White, with when she's running into the forest, and there's all the creepy, weird forest stuff, and like I said, the storm and all that. Back when Disney, they did a thing called DTV, Disney Television, and they would do. That was like some of the first animated music videos that I was like almost like fan videos, except it was done by a lot of the people at Disney. And so they would take current songs and put them to various clips of.
I don't think I
Disney stuff.
remember this.
Yeah, I love these, and one of my favorite ones was they took Snow White and did Pat Benatar's "You Better Run."
I definitely do not remember
Yeah, and
this.
one of the parts I remember is when she's singing like "You better run, you better hide," and there's Snow White running through the forest as like all the weird stuff is happening. She's like looking around. I'm just like, that was cool. Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. It was pretty neat. See, there was that. So I think some of the ones I remember. That one. They did a Valentine's Day one with Whitney Houston's "You Give Good Love," which I thought was cute. Some of the other ones. Not that. Oh man, come on, Brain.
Come on, Brain, you can do it.
But they did a lot of. They did a lot of. I think it was at least 3 of them that I remember, because they would host. They would have different hosts, quote unquote, from the Disney characters, and they would just take clips of the characters and voice over them, so it looked like they were saying whatever the current stuff that they were saying when it was just
Sure.
repurposed animation, which it worked. It did its job. So like Professor Von Drake did some stuff. I remember Guffy Grummy doing an introduction, Disney Studios, and so yeah. But yeah, it was actually kind of a neat thing that they did, and I think some of them actually are on YouTube. I have to look them up and see.
I was about to say, I think this is something I entirely missed from that time period.
Yeah, possibly, because it was a very short run. I think it was like maybe a special that they did every once in a while, but I do remember like the logo, the DTV logo, and everything. It was very 80s.
Just by the sounds of it, it was very, very 80s.
Yeah.
The fact that you just said Pat Benatar was the new song at the time, I was like, oh, that is some 80s right there. And she was a good singer and all, but I don't think she ever made it to the 90s.
No. Well, she did. I think it was more
Did
kind
she?
of like she just did her thing and then just retired afterwards. But yeah, well, back to, that was just a segue from reminding me of that. Yeah, talking about like the spooky Disney stuff or the good stuff. I mean, one of the things that I remember that I was thoroughly impressed with was when the beginning of the Disney Renaissance with Little Mermaid. How they did Ursula was absolutely fantastic for giving a little kid a little frightening there. When like towards the end of the movie, when Ursula reappears and she like literally explodes out of the Vanessa body, the character that she was was in, had put under she was the enchanted character, and had put Prince Eric under a spell. And he was marrying her on the ship and all, and she literally explodes out of this human form, and everyone's looking horror at her, horrified. And then that probably 2.5 second animation of her like crawling across the boat coming directly at you was probably one of the most whoa kind of moments, because I'm like,
crap!
Yeah, because the way they made her look, it was like, I mean, I could see some kids genuinely getting frightened off of that, because I was like, oh geez, that's actually horrifying. And then of course when she gets angry when her little eel pets or whatever they get zapped accidentally and get fried and explode into pieces, and she gets ticked off and grows huge and all that. And then of course when they kill her and they run the pointed front of the boat right through her, I was thoroughly impressed, because that was one of the first times I had like saw like an actual stabbing in a Disney movie.
My God, was that an actual stabbing? That was an actual stabbing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But yeah, I mean, but Disney, they usually weren't strangers to doing.
So that's what I'm saying is, that's why I kind of got, and it wasn't just Disney, but it was a lot of animation from that time period, where they had like the quality down and good ideas and good actors and good stuff, but there was always this point. I'm not saying there should just be hardcore murder in this show. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply saying there was this point where they were like, oh, that's a little far. People might not, and what I'm saying is, the new DuckTales isn't doing that at all. They're doing this great show for kids. Adults can watch it. And on every level, the characters are interesting. There's some character development. There's some legitimately good ideas. There's funny stuff. There's just like little interesting plays on things you've seen 100 times. It's a solid show. Whereas the original DuckTales was a good show, but and I mean this. After the original miniseries, it was just kind of all safe decisions. The original miniseries was an actual story. I wish I could see it again. Strangely not up on Disney Plus for whatever reason, but...
Yeah, I don't think I even saw the original, because again, didn't really watch much DuckTales and stuff, but yeah, I when you told me about that, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, keep forgetting the name of it. Something of the Kingdom of the Sun, but it was about Scrooge and the kids going down to South America and finding all the gold the conquistadors had stolen from the native Aztec and all the tribes and such, and finding the Spanish gold and yada yada, and this giant trap temple, and it was all about Scrooge's selfishness and greed. And it's not like it was super deep. It's not like, oh, this is like Moby Dick. It's not like that at all. But for what it was what I was talking about. There was a lot of just, they told story. There was character stuff going on. There was some dangerous, still funny. It's not like it was bloodletting dangerous, but there was dangerous moments compared to what you would normally have in DuckTales. There's one shot which I still remember. Unfortunately, it was one of the shots that was thumbnailed when I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, there's the shot. Is they come out, and I think they were trying to find the first marker or whatever. They come out of a cave and they're looking out into this massive opening, and there's jungle everywhere, and they're like, there's nothing here. And then the camera backs out, and there's like a 500-ton coin of gold, and they're standing on it. And there's the cave. There's this massive gold coin. It's like 5 stories tall. And there's just the green that grew over it, and they're standing on it going like, there's nothing here. And eventually they spot it, blah, blah, blah. But it's this amazing shot of, super simple cliffside cave, mammoth coin, and the characters are standing on it. Again, not like the greatest thing ever, but as a kid, I was like, wow, that's a cool shot. All the way to the point where I remembered it, all the way up in my 40s, where I was looking it up again. I was like, it's that shot again. And so, I mean, they were, whereas I don't remember a single shot from the rest of DuckTales outside of things in the opening sequence. It's just like, oh, there's nothing that interesting happened. But the stuff in the original miniseries, oh yeah, yeah, neat, fun stuff happened.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause we said we watched a couple episodes of the original, and then we watched the Treasure of the Lost Lamp too.
Yeah, which was okay. None of it is as good as that original miniseries.
I like it. Yeah, I like the animation because the animation. I'm still trying to I keep forgetting to look up who's the studio aside from Disney Studios because the animation looked really familiar. It almost kind of reminded me of the studio who did the Chipmunk Adventure. So I have to look up and see if they were either involved somehow or some of the same people because some of the movements and the sequences reminded me of some of the Chipmunk Adventure stuff, which is another great underrated animation of the 80s. But I liked it because the little genie character. I thought because I never saw the movie when I was a kid because again didn't have money to see movies and all that.
Well, I think that movie was direct to TV.
No, I thought I remember seeing it in.
Okay, well maybe it was, but I never saw it in the theater. I just saw it on TV. So
yeah, I thought I remember seeing advertisements for coming out on the theater, but yeah, when it was one of those ones where I saw it, I was like, it looked like not my thing. But as we watched it as adults a little while ago, I thought that I was pleasantly surprised because I thought that I was going to hate the little genie character. I thought he was going to be an annoying little.
He's pretty annoying.
Yeah, but he wasn't as annoying as I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be one of those characters that they put in for the sake of making the kids go ha ha.
Yeah, I hate those characters.
Yeah, but he actually was a decent character, and the fact that when he was trying to get away, his genuine fear of being captured and being abused and all this stuff.
Yeah, he actually had some good emotional moments.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, they actually made him a slightly deep character as opposed to just he makes stuff blows up and occasionally farts.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I love a good fart joke. But again, a good fart joke. I've even laughed at a few bad fart jokes.
Well, farts can be funny.
Oh, farts are extremely funny. Oh, yeah. I like the tone.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it needed to be a little creepier.
Still think about the Larry King interview with the I keep blanking on his name, unfortunately. The guy who plays Dewey. I'm on DuckTales, Larry. Larry King was asking him what things do you consider extravagant or something like that? Or what's things that you like? And the guy's like, I like nice running socks. I'm a runner. I like getting coffee. It's like, those aren't like extravagancies.
I'm on DuckTales,
He's
Larry.
like, I'm on DuckTales, Larry. Oh man, that was funny. Yeah, but that show has it's there hasn't been an episode to me that was bad. There's been good episodes and really good episodes. Um, but I can't say there hasn't been any where I just like, oh, that was a good one. It was, yeah, they've all entertained me and stuff. I love with the three caballeros when they had the guest stars and like, hey Donald, remember when you thought you could juggle the three eggs and you dropped one? and Huey and Dewey look at each other and Louie just kind of blinks slowly, the one eye blink at a time.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. And the thing is the original Huey, Dewey, and Louie were good, solid animation characters, but they were very rarely my favorites.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes they were really funny. Sometimes they really were. But there's something about essentially three characters just being a duplicate of the exact same character.
Yeah.
You can't do that too many times, and they're probably about it, and I find even that to be kind of like, So when they made, you know, and obviously this isn't the first time that Huey, Louie, and Dewey were their own people, but this is such a good version of it.
Yeah, they did it with Quack Pack, which again I didn't watch much of. I think it came on right as I was. Cause I know they put it on for some reason. Our Disney stuff was on in the mornings, and then they put another Disney one in the afternoons because they had the Disney afternoon, of course. But like Goof Troop and Quack Pack came on in the mornings when I in my area, and it would I think Quack Pack was coming on just when I was about to leave for school, so I'd catch like a few minutes of it and then head out. So didn't watch much of it. But I like what they did with when they finally gave them their own personalities. That was nice because it's like when they made them, like you said, just basically the triplicates of the same one. It was kind of just like having one character. Because
Yeah.
I mean, even
Pretty
in
much.
the old cartoons, they all spoke in three. So you'd have one would say one, second one would finish or Huey would speak first. Huey would speak first, Louie would continue on with the sentence, and then Dewey would finish the sentence. So it was kind of like, oh, that's cute, but they all were doing the exact same. Yeah, they were all just the same character, and they did it with that. Mickey's nephews, Popeye
I
and his
barely
nephews.
remember Mickey's nephews.
Yeah, I'm trying, and I can, yeah,
Because I remember them being there, but I can't, like, really remember much more than that.
And yeah, the thing is, I can never remember if he had two nephews or three. I want to say he only had two.
I want to say two, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they didn't do that too much because it was, like I said, it was cute, but it was, eh. Excuse me. Hope my stomach ground didn't get picked up on the mic.
It did because you said something about it. Because
Oh yeah, my voice said something, but they didn't hear the. I hope.
honestly, hon, I didn't know nothing about it until you said something.
Good. Now there's going to be somebody going back into the timestamp trying to hear the stomach group.
That person needs to find themselves.
Hey, if they're a fan and they want to know.
It's a weird thing to do. I'm sorry.
At timestamp 27.59.
You can clearly hear. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Thank you, but that's weird. That's weird, and you should stop now. You should stop doing that.
Megamind. And I love you, random citizen.
I love you, random citizen. I miss DreamWorks.
Mm.
I realize that a lot of the movies they made did not compare to Pixar in the way of like film quality, but so often I will put an earlier DreamWorks movie on over a Pixar because they were just fun. They were just fun movies. Whereas Pixar can be fun too and excellent movies, but it's just not the same thing. And like a lot of this new DreamWorks stuff, I don't care at all to watch it.
I'm trying to even.
It's like toddler shows. Just
I'm trying to even remember what some of the. Because I know well, I've been waiting to watch. We still haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon 3. We haven't. I've just been waiting to watch that and wanting to see it because I want to conclude the series because it's one of my favorite series that they did. I think aside from that, I'm trying to think what else did they? Because I heard that the crews were pretty funny. I've been wanting to see that.
maybe it is.
Um,
I'm not particularly against that, but like, what was it?
Is it Trolls?
Trolls and Sing.
Well, Sing was different.
Sing was Sony.
I want to say that was Sony. Yeah.
Okay. But it's like they just had this like really great shtick going on for a while, you know, Monsters versus Aliens and Megamind and they're like, oh, Kung Fu Panda was great, but I don't know about the other ones. It's like, well, the other ones, Kung Fu Panda wouldn't exist, or How to Train Your Dragon, because they were literally trying all these very different ideas, and that's what was cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why that was really fun. And so it's like they couldn't get a Kung Fu Panda or they couldn't get a How to Train Your Dragon without all the ones that kind of, quote, failed, unquote. And I'm like, and I still like watching the ones that didn't get anywhere because those were still fun movies, you know. I actually kind of wanted a second Monsters versus Aliens. I thought another Megamind would be fun. And I was looking forward to them making more movies in that line where it was just like, yeah, they're not like big complex films. They're just sort of fun, wacky adventures.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I kind of miss not having fun, wacky adventures.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was yeah, because it was a Boss Baby Boss Baby was a DreamWorks one, didn't?
Yeah, I don't think I just for whatever reason, maybe it was maybe it's a good movie. I've never seen it, but the advertisements never caught me.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
I was just kind of like, what the hell is that?
Mhm.
You know, maybe it's a good movie. I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. And
I think that's where just a lot of when a lot of the other studios just started coming in, because that's when we got like Despicable Me and all that, and that was
Yep, that was good.
That was Illumination, and I mean, yeah, they were seeing that stuff was going, or I should say, they wanted a piece of the pie, and they wanted a piece of that, like just fun, good story stuff, as well as being entertaining, and yeah, I mean, both Despicable Me 1 and 2 was pretty good. Minions was alright.
I thought Minions was just fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is exactly what I'm talking about. There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that. And I want good, solid film quality, make you cry, grab you by the heartstrings, throbbing action, whatever. And then I also want stuff like Minions and such, or not How to Train Dragon, Monsters versus Aliens and Mega. I want that stuff too. I don't want one or the other. That would be boring.
Yeah, I just
I'm not always in the mood for one thing.
Yeah, and as I've said many times before, a good story has no demographic. Like, I just want to be entertained. I want to see a fun story. I want to see really like good animation, and yeah, I want to be able to walk out going, "Hey, that was a really good ride." When it comes to stuff like that, so did.
Yeah, I hear you.
or something is like, oh, that was really awesome, like with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, and
Kind of hoping they do more stuff like that.
yeah, which from what I understand, there are plans. I know they're planning on. I think they said they were planning on a Spidey 2, and I know they said something about having a Spider-Gwen spin-off too.
That'd be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there was I mean, I have criticisms of Spider-Verse, but ultimately speaking, it was just such a good time that my criticisms are just, they don't really matter.
Yeah, I just really wish, I mean, that, I'm glad that it came out and that it did what it did, but I'm really sad that it came out at the expense that it did, of killing all the other good movies that did come, that were planned. And then the stuff that came out before then, it's just like, basically they said, we're sorry, like the Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie is the coagulation, the foul coagulation of corporate thinking.
Yep.
That is what results from corporate thinking. That's why corporate thinking needs to be ended in certain areas. And creativity is one of them. Fine, you're making plastic gears or whatever, it doesn't matter. But art, keep your stinky slack wearing corporate thinking out of art. Period. Just do it. Nothing good happens.
It turned out really nice, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Anywho, everyone have yourself a good week. I'm probably going to eat a steak, which is all the reason for me to close this book super fast.
Well, to see, you finished a little early this round.
Yeah, well, it just kind of came out quick. So anyway, everyone have yourself a good week. We will catch you later.